Hello, Nintendo Wii here, welcome back to Let's Play Retro Games, and welcome to another Games I Got Recently episode. If you've seen the title of this video, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Let's have a look at this amazing shop that I found in London. It's called Crazy Thumbs, and I was so happy to go to it. So as you can see there, it is a fairly small shop, but the stuff that it had inside was really great. They had an amazing selection of NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, even Game Gear games. I was really happy with it. I always hear that London doesn't really have any retro shops, so I was actually really surprised to find it. I found it through looking through Google Maps, so if any of you guys want to know where it is, I'll put a link in the description to their Facebook page. That's probably the best place to go, and from there they've got directions, they've got a few photos about what's in the shop. But anyway, let me show you what I picked up while I was there. So I'll start with two Game Boy games. They were both really cheap. They haven't got the prices on them, unfortunately. I think this one was only about £2, and I'll do that again covering my face up so it focuses. There it is. So the first one here is V-Rally. Really amazed by the graphics in this game. They're super smooth for the original Game Boy. Kind of feels like something like Outrun, that sort of into the screen, the track sort of moves around you sort of game. Plays really well on the original Game Boy, very impressed by this one, and it was super cheap like I just said. And the other Game Boy game I got, and I was actually really surprised because I got this already, and I thought this was the American version of this, but they actually turned out to be completely different games. So the one I picked up at that shop was this one here, called Game Boy Gallery, if it focuses. So the one I picked up was Game Boy Gallery, but there's another one called Game & Watch Gallery, and they're actually completely different games. This one here, this one doesn't have the modern versions of the games, it's basically just slightly improved versions of the Game & Watch games. Whereas this one, Game & Watch Gallery, if I get the names right, that one actually has modern versions of the games on it. So if you're just going to get one of them, get this one. But I was very excited to find this because that means that I've got all of the different Game & Watch games in the whole Game & Watch Gallery series. So I'm really happy to have that. And hopefully one day in the future, when I've got a bit more money, maybe I'll be able to go and get all the actual Game & Watches. That would be a dream come true. I've got a few I haven't really shown off, maybe I'll do a video about them in the future, but I haven't really got that many, and I know they're a really cool thing to collect, so I would definitely like to get some more in the future. So just two more Game Boy games, not that one, I already had that one. Two more Game Boy games for my Game Boy collection. And two games here for another portable system, one that I don't talk about very often on the channel, that's the Game Gear. This one I was very excited to find. Again, the price was really reasonable. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know that I wasn't really put off by any of the prices in the shop. I think it was all really well priced. This one, my favourite game on the Master System, so I'm dying to find out how this one compares. This is Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, or Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap as it's called on the Master System. Unfortunately, when I tried to play these games in my actual Game Gear, it didn't work for whatever reason. I think the capacitors in the system might have gone because the screen's really fuzzy, and a few people told me on Twitter that I probably need to get the capacitors fixed. So I might try and look into that fairly soon. Or the other thing I might look into is an adapter for the Retro Freak, which lets you actually play Master System card and Game Gear games. I think I got that right. It's fairly expensive, but you can also use the Retron 5 one, so maybe I'll end up getting that. But anyway, very happy to have this game, and the other one that I'm also very happy to have, this one is called Shinobi. Basic Shinobi, the original Shinobi. I'm actually going to mention someone here. His name's Lloyd Butler, and he is my girlfriend's boss. I know he watched some of my videos, and he wanted a shout out, so there it is. I got this game because it's one of your favourites, and I can't play it yet because my Game Gear is broken, but I'm really looking forward to giving it a go, because I do like the later games in the Shinobi series. So I'll definitely let you know when I've got round to trying that. And two games here for the Famicom, the Japanese version of the NES. The first one here, I'll highlight this one, and before I highlight it, I just want to say I love the Famicom cartridges. Just look how colourful and nice these are compared to our NES carts, which are just boring and grey. So the first one here is Binary Land. These games I can play thanks to the Retro Freak, so I was really enjoying Binary Land. I think it's a fantastic little single screen puzzle game. The whole idea is that you control two penguins at the same time. They both start in the middle of the screen, and you press right and one of them starts moving to the right and the other one moves to the left. And each one has a different sort of maze that you have to get through and then get to the end. It's a really interesting concept and it works really well. And I don't think it's something they ever brought back either, so it's a really interesting game. And the other one I picked up just to have it in my collection, really. Really can't go wrong with this. The original Super Mario for the Famicom. So really happy to have this. I'd love to get an actual Famicom system at some point in the future. That's definitely something I'm looking to get. So I hope you enjoyed seeing what stuff I picked up from that shop in London. I did actually film that a few weeks ago, and since then I've got even more amazing stuff, and I really wanted to showcase it here rather than making a separate video. And I'm going to start with the best thing. So this is the other part of the title. Can't believe I won this. There's a handwritten message there from Wired Productions saying that I won an Xbox One X and Grip Combat Racing. So all I had to do was actually enter a little contest on Twitter where I had to video the box and turn it upside down and it says grip both ways and then send that off with a hashtag. And I can't believe I won it. And it's just turned up today, so I thought I'd include it in the video. There it is. So there's my brand new shiny Xbox One X. I'm so excited to get it all plugged in and have a look. It came with a download code for Grip Combat Racing, and they also sent me 3 of their other games as well, which I wasn't actually expecting, so I was very, very happy to get these. They are The Town of Light. Apparently Beard Gaming has done a video review of this, so I'll put a link in the description so you can go and watch his review on it. It does sound like a really interesting game, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a try. This one's called Victor Vran Overkill Edition. Got no idea about this game, so if you guys know what it is, let me know. Let me know if it's any good or not. And the infamous Shaq Fu is back in Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. So there you go, there's the other game that they sent over to me. So excited to get this. I was absolutely blown away that I won it, and it's in the other room now. It's updating, it's downloading all the games. It also came with a trial of Game Pass, so I'm downloading things like Forza Horizon. If there's any other Xbox games that you guys know that I'd like, let me know. And I'm definitely looking to get some because I've never really got into Xbox before, so maybe this is my gateway into Xbox. And thank you so much, Wired Productions, for sending me all this amazing stuff. So with that out of the way, I do mention this a bit later on in the video, but as I said, it was 2 weeks ago and they hadn't came out yet. So here we go. I picked up Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. My version is Pikachu and my girlfriend's version is Eevee. We've both actually completed the game already. I did thoroughly enjoy it. I was thinking of making a video about the game to say what I enjoyed and what I didn't, but I've decided against that because there's so much out there online already. If you want to know anything about the game, you can go and look it all up. But I have to say, I did really enjoy it, and it is one of my favourite Pokemon games now. The controller that it came with, I'm not too keen on, but again, I'm not going to go into all the details. If you want to know more, feel free to ask, and I'll happily tell you, but I don't really think it needs its own video. So there's them 2 things. Another really exciting thing that I haven't even opened yet, I've been so busy, I am planning on doing a video review of it at some point in the future. This is the brand new Mega Drive game Tanglewood. So I was very excited about this. I backed it on Kickstarter a long time ago, so it's finally here. I haven't even opened it, as you can see. It's got the seal there, so really excited to give this one a go. When I get round to doing my video review, I will unbox it, but for now it's staying sealed. I just can't bear the thought of taking off that label there, but it will happen. Trust me, it may not be before Christmas, but it is definitely happening at some point. And one other cool thing here, this is being unboxed before Christmas, but I thought I'd just show it off now. This is the press pack for the Pacman arcade cabinet that I did a video about a few weeks ago. If you didn't see that video, I'll put it up here and I'll also put it in the description. It's basically me at a press event for the Pacman arcade machine, and I also get to interview Ryan from Numbskull Designs, and he tells me a bit about the arcade machines and some more that are coming out in the future. So definitely go and watch that video up there, and as soon as it comes through the post, I'm going to be doing a very in-depth video review of it as well, so look forward to that. And as you can see, I've been wearing this new t-shirt from GDQ. You can just about see it in the camera. So finally these turned up. They were actually from Summer Games Done Quick, but they only actually turned up the other day because there was a mistake with the shipping. So they were kind enough to send me another order, so I also picked this one up as well. So this is the Summer Games Done Quick t-shirt with the logo on, and this one is the Kirby's Fountain. I can't remember what the place is called. You know what I mean anyway, so I'm really happy to finally have these two shirts. So I've got two more games to show you here before I'll pass this video back to myself from a few weeks ago to wrap this video up. So I took in, if you remember, I did a video about some games that I picked up on the Facebook Marketplace, some Game Boy Advance games, and I traded a few of them in at CEX, not Kex. I've got it right this time. So I traded them in at Computer Exchange, and in exchange I got Looney Tunes from Sunsoft, which is a really cool, kind of basic but still really cool platformer, and the other game, which I haven't actually tried yet, is Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. So another two games to put in the cabinet back there, and I know I keep saying this, but definitely at some point I'll be getting around to doing my Game Boy Color collection video. I've got so many videos that I want to make, I don't know how I'm going to find time to do them all. So that's it for updates for this Games I Got Recently episode. Oh, no, wait, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Hello again. So this magazine here called Wireframe, I missed out on issue 1, but I just want to bring it up because it's a really fascinating magazine, and I'm so glad that something like this actually exists now. It's not just another game reviews magazine. This one actually goes into a lot of depth about how the games are actually made. There's interviews with developers in there, there's tips on using Unity and stuff like that, so for me this magazine is definitely really interesting. I'm going to see if I can find a back issue of the first episode, or not first episode, first issue. It's been so long since I've been looking at magazines, so I'm definitely going to be trying to get the first issue, and I'm definitely going to be subscribing in the future. So the magazine's called Wireframe, Lifting the Lid on Video Games. So if you're ever in WH Smith's or something, I'd highly recommend going and picking this up. So now that really is it for me, so back to myself from 2 weeks ago. Goodbye again. And one more game that I forgot to mention is Beat Saber. I've been having an absolute blast playing this, so here's some video of me playing the game. Now back to me from a few weeks ago to tell you about some more great stuff that I got. So thank you very much for watching so far. Enjoy the rest of the video. Goodbye. Now I've got a few more modern games that I want to talk about, and then one book. So we'll start here with the only Switch game that I've picked up recently. This is Dark Souls. And if you follow me on Twitter, you may know that I wasn't having a very good time with the game. I have, however, gave it a bit more of a chance now. My friend Jack, Portable Penguin on YouTube now, he's changed his channel name, so if you want to go and watch his videos, it's Portable Penguin. I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, he's going to help me play through Dark Souls, because I do need a bit of assistance, because I just keep dying over and over again and having to go back to the same bit of the same level over and over and over again, and I'm getting really fed up with it, to be honest. So he gave me a bit of tips, a bit of pointers, and I've kind of got somewhere in the game now, but I'm still really struggling. I know, it's crazy. I thought I was a good gamer, and then this shows up and completely beats me to pieces, but I'm definitely going to stick with it. I was considering trading it in even, but I'm definitely going to stick it out. I hear it gets a lot better once you get into it, so there's Dark Souls. And now, quite a lot for the PS4. So we'll start with, and there's also one that I've got downloaded actually, which I'll bring up first. Unfortunately, the UK didn't get a physical release of this. This is Tetris Effect. Absolutely incredible game. Quite possibly, spoilers for a video that's coming later in the year, quite possibly my game of the year so far. Absolutely blown away by the game. I did try and record some footage to put on YouTube, but unfortunately when I play it through the capture card, it has a bit of lag, so I couldn't really play it properly. The way I have been playing the game, I've got it here, is through the VR headset, and playing it in VR is absolutely incredible. If you know anyone who's got VR and Tetris, definitely go and check it out. Words just can't describe how good the game was. It actually brought me to tears, it was that good. And I don't really like to admit that either. I just absolutely blown away. By far my game of the year so far. Just faultless game, it really is. Yeah, I'm going to move on before I just talk about Tetris non-stop. That could be a whole video in its own, which it might well be in the future. Another VR game that I was playing quite a bit of until Tetris came out, and now I've sort of forgotten about it a bit, so I'd really like to go back and finish it, because it was another amazing game that I was really blown away with. It's been a great year for VR, and Astro Bot Rescue Mission is definitely one of those great games. If you've got PSVR, highly recommend this game if you're into platformers. I love the different perspective that it gives you while you're playing it. It feels so just new and refreshing, I think that's the best way of putting it. I was having an absolute blast, and I'd definitely like to go back and finish it before the end of the year. And some new games here. This one is still actually in its seal. I haven't even started playing it yet. I'd really like to, because I like the other two Tomb Raider games that are on the PS4. This one is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. As I said, it's still sealed, so I can't really say anything about the game at all, other than if it's anything as good as the other two, I'm going to really enjoy it. A game that only just came out, this is actually my girlfriend's one, I'm going to be picking up my own copy next week. This is the Spyro trilogy. I'm a huge fan of the original Spyro games. I was about to say I've 100% completed all three of them, but I've 100% completed two of them, and I've 99% completed Spyro 3. Because unfortunately, when I was playing it on the Vita, I encountered some really strange bug in one of the levels that means that I couldn't actually get the egg at the end of the level, and it reset. And every time I go back in, it thinks I've already finished the challenge, but doesn't actually give me what I should get for completing that challenge. So I can't 100% complete it. So I'm really excited to play through them again on the PS4 and actually 100% complete the games properly. So very excited to get my own copy of this and play it all the way through. The graphics are outstanding. They really are amazing. Now, two games that I've been watching Sarah play, I haven't actually played them myself yet. These are Red Dead Redemption and Ultimate Spider-Man. Or just Spider-Man. So these are Red Dead Redemption and Spider-Man. Two amazing games for the PS4 again. Spider-Man looks incredible and a lot of fun. And the open world of Red Dead Redemption... Let me start that again. The open world of Red Dead Redemption just looks like you could just explore it for hours and hours. The graphics, the gameplay, everything about it looks really cool, but I have no idea when I'm going to find the time to play either of these games, to be honest. So I've been quite happy just watching her play them, so... There's just another two games that we picked up recently. And that's it for games. Now I've got one more thing before I wrap this video up, and this is this really cool book here called Retro Tech by the Nostalgia Nerd on YouTube and on Twitter, so I'd highly recommend this book. I've read it all the way through now. I'll do some close-ups of it, but it's really interesting. I especially love reading about all the retro computers and consoles that were actually released before I was born, so it's really interesting to go back and listen to what the feeling about it was like at the time and some of the best and worst games to play on the system. Well, some games... I love how he's actually structured the book, so you've got three different games on the left, you've got a bit of information on the right, and then you've got things like the release date and the original price. But on the third page of each console here, you've got a must-see game, you've got a must-play game. So the must-see game is kind of like ones that really show off what the system can do. The must-play game is basically the best game on the system, the game that you really should play to get a feeling of how the system is. And then there's a must-avoid game as well, which is always quite funny. They're games that are absolutely rubbish, and you should probably never play them unless you want to become the angry video game nerd and just make a hate video about them. But even so, absolutely fantastic book. I'll put a link in the description to Amazon. It's actually really fairly priced as well. So anyway, guys, this was my latest games I got recently. Hope you're enjoying these videos. Hope you're looking forward to the next one coming out next Friday. Comment, subscribe, let me know if there's any games you've picked up recently that you're really enjoying. I'm actually going to go and get Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to playing them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.